Voice Skills Inc. and welcome back to A Few Minutes in Voice, where we give you the latest news in voice technology, interview industry experts, and review some of the latest skills on the Alexa Skill Store. Today's episode will feature Mark, an Alexa Skill Champion, and we will be reviewing an exercise skill. So let's get started. In the world of voice, something that I found pretty interesting was that Alexa Guard is now being enabled across all Echo devices. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with what Alexa Guard is, but it actually will help you know when intruders are entering your home. For example, glass could be breaking and Alexa will notify you via your alarm system, such as Ring or ADT, that burglars are coming in, which I think is pretty helpful because sometimes you're not able to detect that or your system misses that, and now you can actually see what's going on. And with an Echo Show, it actually records some of that video. Now, it doesn't always listen to you, much to some people's concerns, but it does give you some insight into people potentially breaking into your home. So today, we're going to be talking to Mark, and let's hear what he has to say about being an Alexa Skill Champion and all of his work as a software developer. All right, take it away.
Righty. Hi, Mark. How are you?
Hey, Sandra, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for taking the time to meet with us. Here at VSI, we're starting our new channel, A Few Minutes in Voice. We're trying to get people involved and knowledgeable about the voice landscape. So we're glad to have you.
Thanks.
Did you want?
Congratulations on getting started.
Oh, yes. I'm still learning a lot. I'm sure you are too. We all are. But so can you please tell our listeners a little bit about who you are, maybe what you've been up to?
Sure. So Mark Tucker, I've been a software developer architect for more than 22 years. Live here in the Phoenix area, and that was where I spent most of my time doing software development. And mostly Microsoft technologies until about 3 years ago when I came across Alexa and was able to maneuver some of my JavaScript and Node.js skills into learning how to do Alexa skills and also learning the things I needed to in AWS in order to do that. So that's a little bit about me. I've got 3 boys. Most of them are older. I've got one that's will graduate from high school here next year, and then they'll all be off in college. So.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks.
And are you an Alexa champion?
I am. So Alexa Champion is kind of like a Microsoft MVP or some other programs that are out there. So I'm going on, I think, 2 years now as an Alexa Champion, and there's probably about 40 of us in the world. So do you want me to tell you a little bit about the Champion program?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the Champion program is you have to be selected by somebody at Amazon or nominated, and then there's a selection process. And I think you don't have to be a developer or do specific things. There's varied talents and abilities amongst the pool of Alexa champions, but you need to be active in the community. So when I first learned how or was getting started on doing Alexa development, there's a learning curve, and that I hit with new things, and things are a lot easier now than they were 3 years ago. I think back at the time when I joined, there were 3,000 skills in the Alexa Skills Store, and there's now 90,000. So a lot of things have happened over the last 3 years. But what I wanted to do was try to help other people that are following behind me have less of a hump or hill to climb, right, when they were doing this. And so I started doing blog posts and things on social media, GitHub templates on how to get started, and speaking at different conferences and things. And I started the Phoenix Alexa Meetup. So I think all of those things caught the eye of somebody at Amazon, and I was nominated and selected as an Alexa champion. So that's kind of how I got started.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool. It's an inspiration for anyone who potentially wants to become one. Because I know you make it sound easy, but it actually implies like a lot of work. And
there's a lot of hours, that was behind all of that to, figure it out myself and then trying to teach others and setting up a meetup. I've never had done something like that before. So just a lot of things behind the scenes, and it's been a great experience. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we've all kind of enjoyed seeing the landscape kind of grow. And I love hearing people's stories like yours, like I just started when there was like 3,000, now there's 90,000 skills, it's like, I'm sure you're like, man, where was that tool when I first started? But we're all evolving. So, do you want to like tell us a little bit maybe of like what you've worked on, maybe where you see the landscape of voice going in the next maybe 2, maybe 5 years? I know a lot of like
Oh, wow. Yeah.
development is being made.
Things are just accelerating at a really quick pace. Some of the things I've done some skills, some personal skills. Two of the ones I'll talk about is one is called Picture Guesser. It's
cool.
actually was one of the first multimodal skills out in the skill store. So with the Echo Show or Spot, and it's one of those remove the tiles to reveal a picture and then guess what the picture is. It's interesting. It's one of those few Alexa skills where you have to have a screen, but it's definitely a voice first experience. Something else I've created was a skill called Serve More, which allows you to go and search for service opportunities in your area by zip code. And,
How cool.
yeah,
I like
so
that.
if you just want to do something this weekend and you're thinking more service oriented, then just start up Serve More and ask for locations near you, and you'll find some service projects. You'll get a little bit of a blurb about what it is, and then you can go find out some more information.
No, that's awesome. That's very useful. I would definitely use that.
So that's and there's a lot more I've done. I've done private demo skills, trying to drum up some client business, done some things for healthcare companies, got some things that have happened and are continuing to happen along that front. So there'll be more that I'll be able to talk about here in a little bit, but there's
Absolutely.
definitely things coming out.
Yeah. So where do you kind of like see the landscape? So, you're a developer, like where do you see like the trends maybe of voice going?
Well, so I think there will definitely be more adoption of voice throughout. There'll be more devices. I'm really looking forward to the Echo Auto device that I can plug into my car. So I don't have a fancy car, but now I'll be able to do voice controlled and even tailor my custom skills that I write to that automobile experience. So when I'm in the vehicle, I could do shorter prompts or other indications. And maybe combine that with the geolocation information you can have access to now. So some things coming out with that. But there are just so many things that are happening. I just see from when I started what all the things that developers can do now that they couldn't do before. And I just see that continuing to happen. Like hundreds of features a year are coming out of this platform. Some of them you'll be able to use immediately, and some of them you're like, how will I be able to use that one? In fact, so I guess I'm really happy with what's been out there, but I'm also kind of like keep pushing and saying, what's the next thing? What's the next thing that we can do? And so I actually recently wrote something on social media, and it was 50 wishes for the Alexa Genie. So it's the 50 things that I would like to see happen next to help me as a developer.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we'll have to link that article so people can check it out.
Yeah, so check that out. See if you agree. Add your own wishes, and maybe the Alexa Genie will grant your wish, and your feature will be coming out this year. Who knows?
Oh yeah, I mean we don't know. Amazon sure likes to surprise all of us. That's for
They
sure.
do. That's for sure. Even with some of the inside glimpses that we get as champions or access to beta, there is just so much happening that I don't even know what's coming out next. So
yeah, well, we all got to stay tuned, right? But so anyways, do you want to tell us maybe some challenges you faced as a developer, and then lastly, share some tips and tricks for people maybe wanting that are either senior developers or just simply looking to enter, the Alexa development side of things.
all right, so tips and tricks. Wow, there's just so much. out there. One of the frameworks that I like to use is the Jovo framework. It allows you to write Alexa skills and Google Actions with the same code base.
Awesome.
And they are surprisingly quick at getting new features out. So a shout out to Jovo. I think they're doing a great job, and I'm continuing to help them as they innovate that open source framework. So like a lot of the things that are happening there. What other some tips and tricks? Just keep reading documentation or kind of checking out the Alexa blogs, or if you want like bigger, higher level trends, check out voicebot.ai. There's just a lot of different places where you can go to get information. I think I was just like looking through the other day at something for Alexa for Business, and I noticed a new tab there, and I'm like, hey, I haven't seen any announcement about this. It's the ability to send announcements to rooms, and the device will wake up in like all the conference rooms and be able to say something. And I'm like, hey, I haven't seen that. And so I started checking back the log, and nothing had been posted out as far as a release note. And it had been 3 or 4 days since it had come out. And I'm like, hey, I found something.
Yeah, no, that happened to me too. Like, it was funny. I think I was like trying to enable a skill, and it was like, do you want to make an announcement? And I was like, what? What is this announcement? I was like, this is new. And I was like, apparently you can do this too.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, and I love just communicating with people on social media, because there's different times where they'll say, well, what about, I'm like, well, what about this? And they're like, well, there's this feature here that I'm like, hey, I didn't know that. I learned something new. Thanks.
Yeah.
So there's just so much out there that just try to be as much of a sponge as possible and soak it all in. But there's just things coming out all the time. But like how to get started. One of the things that I say is just go for it. Most of my experience in my 20 some odd years of software development and architecture was in Microsoft technologies. So don't let that scare you that you may not know Node.js. Maybe you've got JavaScript because you've done web development, but you don't have Node.js experience. Don't worry about it. Just get in. The frameworks are easy enough to get started and just go for it. Also, I didn't really have any experience at all, zero with Amazon Web Services, but I learned how to do Lambda functions and DynamoDB and set up IAM and other things like Secrets Manager or DynamoDB or just a number of other things, or setting up the right way to set up different accounts in AWS for more of the enterprise clients that I've worked with. So just get in. There's you can do it. In fact, what I like to tell the people at the Phoenix meetup that come, I'm like, look around the room. The people that are in this room are the leaders of tomorrow for voice first technology, because where are the other people, right? That are if you're interested in it, then you're looking around and there is 20 people or so in a room, and you're like, these are the people that are going to be the leaders because you're checking it out today, and you're going to have a head start over those people that haven't even bothered looking at it yet.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I've really enjoyed that. It's like I didn't come from like a strong developer background, but I feel like the community and senior developers like yourself have been very warm and welcoming to like explain things. And there's a lot of videos, and Amazon has put out a lot of services. A lot of groups have done a really good job. And I think, we're all kind of new in a way in different aspects. And so it's kind of been a community build, and I've really enjoyed that about this space.
Yeah, and I do a lot of work with developers, but you have to wear multiple hats. As a voice designer, as an architect, there's just so many different things that you can do. And this, I feel like that it's not just like the voice first community; it's a voice first family. I think even though we're all kind of jumping in and we're trying to do something new, and technically we're competing with each other, but it doesn't necessarily feel like we're aggressive or overly secretive about things that we're sharing with this community, and we really want voice to succeed, and we're helping each other out, and we need to bring more and more people in, people that maybe don't want to be developers but have a knack for script writing or English or psychology, lots of different aspects. Please come on. Come join us and help us figure some of this stuff out. and help us make the best voice experiences that we can.
No, I agree. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what the future holds. And, like you said, everyone's like, we're all in it together and we're all like trying to essentially increase that awareness, and ultimately that accessibility of information to people. So I'm very excited to see where that goes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for taking the time to
Oh, you're
talk to us
welcome. Yeah.
today. I really enjoyed it. And as always, I like learning too from you and everyone else. And I'll be sure to link that Genie wish list article because I know I have lots of wishes too. I'm like, can you just do it all for me?
Yeah, it's like, no, I agree. So congratulations on all that you're doing on your side, and glad that I found another friend here in the Voice family. So
Yes, thank you. And
yeah.
be sure to let everyone know where they can find you.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
like your information.
So I'm definitely on social media. I check LinkedIn and Twitter on a regular basis. Probably the easiest place to first find me is on Twitter, Mark Tucker. And you'll just be able to find me and all the stuff I'm thinking about.
All right. Well, we'll be sure to check you out on Twitter then. All right.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Mark.
All right. Take care.
Thank you, Mark, for such insightful information, and we'll be sure to share that link about the 50 wishes from the Alexa Genie on our channel. Now, before we go any further, let's review the 5-minute plank skill. Alexa, start 5-minute plank.
Welcome to 5-minute plank workout. You can see how to perform exercises at your Alexa app. Take a push-up position and stay ready to start.
Alexa, stop.
Okay, see you later.
So as you can see, the 5-minute plank app is very useful in helping you time your plank exercises. Where I do think it potentially could be lacking is in the fact that it could demonstrate maybe via video or have like a larger image on your Alexa skill store. Oh, Alexa listening. On your display device of some of the exercises that it's talking about. And I know that they say that you can enable some music in the background, but maybe if it had some funny jokes or maybe give you some news, that would add some flavor to the skill. But I do overall like it, and sometimes I do like to use it in my morning routine. So I would recommend it, but I do think that there is room for improvement, especially now that we have more screen devices enabled, or even Alexa enabled in the TV. So be sure to look out for that, and hopefully we'll be seeing some new exciting updates to the 5-minute plank. Now, be sure to contact us if you have any other questions regarding voice technology.